China has come out with a new AI model that is one of the best models out there right now, supposedly. So this is from Baidu, a huge Chinese company. They released their ERNIE 4.5 series, fully open source, which is beautiful to see for the open source community. And you can actually test it out right now. In today's video, we're going to see the benchmarks, but if you want to try it out using independent providers that are not Chinese, you can go ahead on OpenRouter.
Looks fake. It looks fake. Well, give it a second. Give it a second.
So if you want to test it out, you can go on OpenRouter and use independent providers from USA to use this. So in terms of pricing, it's not very costly. The input is like 0.28 cents. And for output, it's $1.1 per million tokens. So this is a very good pricing, very competitive pricing. The model is kind of big. It's a mixture of experts, 300 total parameters and 47 active parameters. So let's get started with what this model can do, because they actually released loads of models. So you can see here that they've got actually way too many models released in just a single iteration, which is pretty insane, I gotta say. So let me close my web camera just for a second so you can see the whole screen. So they've got multimodal models and only text models. Some of them are a mixture of experts, some are just dense, small models, probably for edge computing. And some of them can think, some others cannot think, some others are non-thinking. So that's interesting. So also, some of them have been trained, and some of them also are vision language models. So this is super interesting. Loads of releases. Could possibly taken them like a year to train all of these. I mean, it's a joke, but yeah, loads of compute given for open source models. And let's get started by seeing what they have actually created. So let's open up this benchmark. I don't know if I can zoom in, maybe open it in a new image. So here we can see the very small model on the first tab. We can see the second, a little bit bigger model, text model here. And the final one is the biggest model of all, the leading model. And these are non-thinking, so they compare with Qwen 3 and DeepSeek V3, which are also Chinese open source models. And we can see that in terms of capabilities, they're very, very close to Qwen. In some cases they win, in some other cases they actually don't win. But for their big model, which has less parameters, half the parameters, total parameters, but a little bit more active parameters, they compare very, very nicely against DeepSeek, which is beautiful to see. The very small model is not smart enough. We're not going to care about it. But what we want to care about is these two columns. So this model you could potentially run on your own computer, and it's very competitive to Qwen 3. The active parameters are only 3 billion, 30 billion in total for Qwen. The active parameters for ERNIE are 3 billion, 21 billion in total. And this is beautiful to see because we actually see a model that is very, very good, but it's also smaller. So you can run it on your local computers, or you could use it at a cheaper price using APIs. So it's beautiful to see. I really love when new open source models become smaller, but equally capable to larger ones. But what I care about in this graph, and we've got another 5 graphs to see for different cases of the model, so see the whole video, you don't want to miss out on the latest developments. So in case of DeepSeek V3, which is a very capable non-thinking open source model, this ERNIE with like half total parameters, but more active parameters, is doing an amazing job. So probably what they show us is that we don't really need loads of experts. So it maybe makes sense to have more parameters per expert. So this is completely different from what Llama has been doing or Qwen has been doing. But the results are really promising, really nice, very good, non-thinking text model. Very good job from Baidu. And again, the most important thing, it's open source. Let's move on into other benchmarks where they compare with the state-of-the-art Qwen 3 model that is of a little bit smaller size and less active parameters. Here is the new DeepSeek version, and here is GPT 4.1, the leading non-thinking model. So it compares quite favorably in various cases. And this is beautiful to see. We actually see that open source non-thinking models have pretty much caught up to the competition. This is an amazing graph. These results are pretty insane. Like GPT 4.1, there is no reason to use it anymore. You could literally just use this Chinese model. So that's indeed very promising. And this model has been trained, okay? That's important. Post-training seems to help this model. So it's beautiful to see. This graph is absolutely amazing. The next thing is about multimodal thinking models. Let's check this out. Oh my God, this is very exciting. So they compare against O1 and whoa, they have the small vision model with 3 billion active parameters and the big one. So we can see that the big one, the big model is very competitive and it's doing a very good job against O1. This is the full O1, no O1 mini. So this is probably O3 mini performance. That's where you could put it. And the results are very promising. It seems like open source had caught up to O1 performance and even surpasses it in many cases. This is beautiful to see. But something else that I see right now is that this model, which is a lot smaller and you could potentially run it on a 4090 NVIDIA GPU, is not that far away. It's matching O1 in various cases. And this is exciting to see. It even surpasses it in some cases. So you could actually have a small vision language model that is open source and it's matching O1 performance, which was released, I guess, 8 months ago. But again, when it was released, it was a big deal. And this is a big step in the open source community. So this is also another beautiful graph. Let's move on into the non-thinking models paradigm. Let me open up this on a new tab. So here it compares against Qwen 2.5, Qwen 2.5 bigger, and the vision language model of 72 billion parameters. This is not state of the art, in all honesty, so this is not a really fair comparison, in just my opinion. Also, the architecture of these models is quite different. So the architecture that Baidu goes about is mixture of experts, while Qwen is dense models. I would really love if we could have a comparison with 3.5. But again, we see a major jump in performance, but possibly this could be more costly. In terms of inference, it's not going to be more costly, but in terms of training, probably this model was a lot more costly to train. But I also see very promising results and some major jumps in various directions. So I think this is also promising. So yeah, this is a very cheap model that seems to be doing a very good job in benchmarks, and it's a meaningful progress in the open source community. Now, if you want to use their chat interface, it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's fully on Chinese, so I would not try it. Maybe it makes sense if you really want to try it out to go with OpenRouter and, give it a check, at least the actual text model. That could be nice for you. And yeah, I really don't know what else to say. If you give it a try, just let me know down below in the comments. I think it's a very good release. Loads of new frontiers unlocking with this model. So I gotta say, this is nice. This is nice. I'm really happy to see this, and it feels like a little bit of a nice jump for the open source community, especially on text. It also does a very good job on multimodal stuff, but in all honesty, it doesn't excite me that much for vision language, vision understanding, or whatever it's called. So yeah, just a very quick overview on this new Chinese model. In all honesty, what I am waiting for is DeepSeek R2, because I think DeepSeek is like the leading developer. Alibaba also with Qwen is super nice. But Baidu has done a good job to catch up with the competition and open source some new Sora models. So I like this as well. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.